This is a geode, and in today's video I'm going to discuss what that means, crack this puppy open, and also answer your frequently asked questions. So stay tuned. What, pray tell, is a geode, and how is that different from a VUG? A geode is a round or bubbly rock that is independent from its host rock, that's important, that is lined with a crystalline cavity. The cavity doesn't necessarily have to be hollow. It can be completely filled in with crystals. That doesn't make it a geode or not. But the important part that differentiates this from a VUG is that it's independent from its host structure. Whatever this formed in, the geode was able to be knocked loose from it without breaking it. And that is the key differentiation between a VUG and a geode. So how do geodes form? Geodes form from two very distinct geological functions. You have a volcanic function, an igneous function, and you have a sedimentary function. Let's talk about the volcanic one first. This formed as a vesicle. It was a bubble that formed in lava as it was cooling that never quite made it to the surface. The stone hardened before it could make it anywhere, before it could come up to the top and pop. And that left a cavity for crystals to line over time. Water is the primary means of crystal deposition, so as rainwater or hydrothermal activity pushed water through that cavity, crystals lined, based on the minerals that were present in the rock around it. So let's talk about the sedimentary one. The sedimentary function forms as the result of another nodule or some other cavity being formed as something eroded away. So for instance, in the case of this particular Mississippian age geode, this formed from a Mississippian age extinction event. A whole bunch of sea life dies. As they die, it begins to attract sand, silt, and sediment and creates a little mudstone ball. Well, those mudstone balls got hard and eventually eroded away chemically, leaving a cavity for crystals to line over time from usually rain or groundwater depositing crystals. We live on a dynamic planet, and water is one of the main forces of erosion on our planet, so it's constantly tearing stuff down and transporting mineral and elemental masses along with it. That's why it's called mineral water. But that's not always the case with the sedimentary. Sometimes it could be another nodule of some kind eroding away, a septarian, although septarians are usually formed from dead stuff too. Long story short, something was already there and eroded away and left a cavity for crystals to line. So what can grow inside of a geode? Let's take this over to the cracker and find out. Oh. 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 Alright. It did not crack all the way through, so I've got to help it along. Oh. 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 Oh, mamacita. Ah. Oh. Oh. What? Oh, that's wild. A truly weird Las Trancas geode. My goodness. Whoa. Let's get on in here. What? Look at that. That is wild. So, you may have noticed that this piece came off. You see, this was a true double geode. I thought it might have been three cavities that had kind of merged together. However, this particular one was completely distinct from the other one. So let's see if this had something different inside of it, because wouldn't that just be cool? All right, let's pump it back up. All right, bonus geode. Whoop. Okay, and away we go. Oh my. It's maybe a solid bit. It's feeling solid. That does happen with a lot of these little extra nodules. They tend to be... Yes. So this one is almost certainly solid. It might have a very small cavity on the inside, but I'm going to set this aside to slice later. So I didn't even explain this. This is a gray to black chalcedony. It's not a true agate, because if you remember some of my other videos, agate is a very specific variety of chalcedony that is both banded and fibrous. The formation that you see inside is called a botryoidal mass, or grape-like mass. It's bubbly. Let's look at some other geodes from this locality, see what they look like. Here's another specimen from this location. See beautiful quartz, some chalcedony stalactitic structures. It's just a fun geode, but it's so very different from the other one. And that's entirely because of the minerals that happened to deposit inside of the cavity. How cool is that? However, there are some other minerals, some other geode localities that have completely different minerals inside of them as well. Let's look at some other types of geodes. This is a volcanic geode from a similar locality to the Las Trancas, the Chihuahua State in Mexico, but this is a Las Choyas, and it has a beautiful agate banding, big calcite inside, and some clear quartz. It looks pretty neat. However, this is also a Las Choyas. Some beautiful black or smoky quartz, it's hard to tell at this point, some calcite, but also same locality, completely different. And that's one of the wonderful parts about geodes. They are a true grab bag. You never know what's going to be in it until you actually open it. And just like this puppy right here, just like this really wild, wicked, and weird Las Trancas, you don't know what's going to be inside. You might have an idea based on locality, but you're not going to know until you actually get inside of it. That completely caught me off guard. This thing is super cool.
So what can actually form inside of a geode? And it 100% depends on what minerals are present or are being brought up from hydrothermal activity while the geode forms. For instance, the sedimentary geodes tend to not have as many, quote, interesting or colorful varieties of quartz in them because the minerals present for them to form aren't there, or rather the inclusions. Amethyst, for instance, has to have radiation for it to get its purple color, so you're not going to see that in sedimentary geodes on the whole. 100% depends on what minerals are present as they form, and the locality. It's important to remember that water is the primary means of crystal deposition on our planet, and that's the same for geodes. Water passing through these cavities deposits crystals over time, and sometimes the water can get trapped. Geodes are porous until a certain point in their formation.
In most cases, geodes cease to be porous after a certain point in their formation. And sometimes, water can be trapped on the inside. Is it incredibly rare? No. Is it uncommon? Yes. What is the cast iron pipe cutter? What is the tool that I use? Sorry, Oh no! Oh no, the mystique is gone. The tool that I use is called a cast iron pipe cutter. It's a specialty plumbing tool. They can be kind of pricey if you don't happen to catch one at an estate sale or something, but it works really, really well on geodes. If you don't have access to one of those, but you want to maybe cut them, You can use a wet tile saw as long as it's wet. You can cut open into geodes that way. You can also get some hand pipe cutters for tailpipes and stuff. They don't work as well as that. You really need some good leverage behind it. They're not quite as durable, but you can crack smaller geodes with them. And another bonus question that gets asked pretty frequently is, what if you have no access to any of those? How can I still get inside of a geode? And the best answer I can say is a vise to stabilize it, and then a hammer and maybe a flathead screwdriver or a chisel. And just start working your way around it and hope it opens up. You might not always get them into clean pieces, but you can definitely get them open. Anyway, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. It's free and it tremendously helps the channel. You can also check the description or pinned comment down below to see other ways to support what I do here. Thanks for watching, and stay shiny.